So, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, as the case may be, or good evening, as we say. This is Lou Martin. This is Awakened Spirits, and I'm with my dear friends Viveka Sophia Kalma and David Maria. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Oh, I had to take a deep breath. We are wonderful, dude. Well. I know she's wonderful, and I also know that I'm wonderful.
Brilliant, brilliant.
As you see today, my inner paradise. It's this dress is a reflection of my how I feel in this Eden state.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So it has been really beautiful.
You're both shining very brightly.
This beautiful amplified states of joy.
The sun is also really becoming not only physically amplified. It's really amplified here outside.
Brilliant, brilliant.
We've had a lot of rain. We've had a lot of rain recently, and the sun is back.
Okay. That's
and
awesome.
it's really especially joyous it is be here with you again. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Having us again.
Though it is always such a pleasure to be with you and to spend time and just share presence with you, with all three of us sharing presence.
Thank you, David. Thank you both. Fantastic. Well, I love that. I was saying earlier, I love that we've gotten into a rhythm of chatting, on a weekly basis because the divine timing of all this feels really good to me. Not only getting the pleasure of your great company, which is the bonus, but also, being able to give people kind of weekly updates. As we know, the energies are shifting like crazy. And, so I welcome anything you want to share about your weather report on what's happening energetically in the world right now.
Well, as you know, yesterday there was I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, there was a coronal mass ejection from the sun and from a filament release, and it was directed right at us. And it arrived yesterday. There was like a G8 storm. Zoom was completely knocked out worldwide because it relies on satellites to be able to send all of the signals. And this signal is coming from Zoom in the US. That's where the signal is originating. And that same thing happens to us as people.
Right.
It overloads nervous systems a lot, depending upon how much work you've done and how much energy you are ready to be able to handle circulating through you. And that's just the outer reflection of the inner reality. Because the inner reality is that something happens and that causes a filament inside of a lot of people, and that causes a filament release on the sun, which then affects the outer world.
Yeah.
And there is really full spectrum of different realities and vibrations right now that we experiencing and we all experiencing as collectives, and there is also, of course, this our personalized reality simultaneously. And there is such immense amplification of this love light levels that, like right now, coming, or that we all also as conduits radiating. It's not only that it's coming like outside, it's coming inside of all conduits. It's coming from the Gaia also. And as David said also, it can be our nervous system can be really overwhelmed sometimes.
Yes.
With this energies, and this is really time to take care of our physical body, because if we don't do that, then it can be materialized as some level disease or when we really have this when we have really strong resistance
Yes.
to surrender.
That's the word, Viveka. Yes.
And then we're holding still of this old.
Yeah.
Then it can be manifest as physical, emotional, mental pain within our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the it's we don't need to suffer.
Right.
We really don't need suffer when we really embodying this I don't find proper word now to that in English. The art of surrendering.
Yeah.
And we really understand what it is, because the people who really don't know what's going on right now and really in a deep sleep state, many of them feelings is outer reflection of surrendering, and it means that they feel in some level personal loss or grief,
For confusion.
yeah, or confusion also, yes, because when we are not letting go of some outer sources of love, attachments that are still creating this stagnation, then just our higher consciousness decided to take them away, and then we're feeling that as personal loss. But we can prevent all of that when we doing this inner work, and we surrendering and releasing from inside out, and there automatically there this reality starting to match with that what we feel inside of ourselves, this freedom and this free flow. So we don't need to have this feeling of grief and loss, and it's always coming from inside out. So
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Beautiful.
It doesn't take much of a rocket science to know that if you really take a look at it, at some of the chaos in the world, what happens when a wave of highly amplified plasma from our sun starts pulling into everybody's nervous system. The effect that have is monumental.
Yeah.
In however it's going to manifest as a really high thing or as a stressor.
Sure. Sure. Yes. Yes, I agree. I mean, so I had my anxiety attack over this email that I hadn't expected, and for a situation I thought was resolved, as I was sharing earlier. And it was something that was very dear to my heart, and it was very important that it get resolved in a good way. So, like, literally, I woke up about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was just putting on meditations, throughout the night, until I got up about 6 or something like that. And then everything turned out exactly the way I wanted it to, which was wonderful and a great relief, and by no means a guarantee the day before. So, like we're saying, my friends, when the storm is up, it's like, dive deep and do the clearing, the healing, and the nurturing work. And then, you do the work, you get the goodies, then things work out. And as I said, I got to play music for a couple hours after that, and I wasn't even tired for the day. Took a little nap in the afternoon. So it just all flowed after that. The day before had been really an anxiety attack and chaos, a panic attack. And then after the meditations, boom, 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 all green lights. It was wonderful.
I'm so glad I've never experienced anything like that.
You should try it sometime.
and it's when it's like echo from the past. There is, of course, we all know that there is little no past and future, but we still, in this linear construct, we still experience that. But when we're starting to release this, all this linear construct within us, we're not anymore influenced by the past. And it means also that we're not influenced by this energy, that this chaos that's going on right now in this outer world.
Yeah.
And we experiencing what we can call also future, but there is only in this now. But it's just vibrational difference that our human mind perceives as future. We experiencing that what is already here. We bringing forth these new realities through ourselves, and at the same time we already experiencing them.
Yes.
And when we totally release these older realities, we are not influenced by that anymore at all, and it means that we cannot create anymore any distortions, and we are not capable to feel anymore this kind of lower vibration as worry,
Yeah.
or grief or anxiety, when we are shifted or transcended all this
Yeah.
lower realities and time constructs.
Yeah. Well said. Beautifully said.
So
Yeah.
this is what we becoming and what we experiencing, and there is so amplified this blissful blissful transcending energies right now, that and it's not anymore, or I don't feel anymore them that it's like walking meditation. Every day is like walking meditation when you are really connected with your true core.
Yeah.
And it's coming, this energy coming from your true core.
Yes.
And even then is some small still some most fluctuation, and sometimes you are engaged with this outer world.
Sure.
The coming back into your core, it's instant.
Yeah, I'm feeling that more. I'm feeling that more. That
Yeah.
piece. You know, and
Mhm.
a different energy. Carrying a different vibration.
Mhm.
And I think it just. I mean, this is the cycle, isn't it? Where there's clarity, then things happen, then I'm invited to see why I've created it, what's my response,
Mhm.
what will I do with it, and then back into the flow.
We have been tested so many times, and especially what we're sharing, for example, that when we're sharing something or some classes or some information with David, or when I write something, or David sharing something, we always have been tested that did you really embody all of that what you're sharing? It's becoming all this. It's becoming this core truth, and sharing that at the same time. We also going through this test, that are you still this lighthouse in
Right.
the middle of this chaos?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. David.
Well, any, anytime that I have offered a class, and now especially anytime that we offer a class together,
Mm.
the primary prerequisite of, if you will, that we go through is that we have to embody it before it can be offered. Until we have gone through it, sometimes we can't offer that, or if we haven't fully gone through that process ourselves, the energy that comes through us is not quite, shall we say, not necessarily complete. Complete's not an accurate word, but it's not fulfilled. It, and and everybody in the class will feel that at the same time. To what level or what degree everybody will feel that is going to be unique to each individual.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always we're always tested, and it's always a challenge to walk through what we're being asked to walk through, or
Sure.
what we're being given to walk through.
Sure. Yeah, you can't give what you don't have. You know.
Can't fill from an empty cup. You can't.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the first few times that I offered the Freedom from the Known course, I hadn't fully embodied it yet. And to be even more honest, I have finally fully embodied it now.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
it's not just me that's embodied it; she's embodied it also.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's going through subtler and subtler levels
Yes.
of what that embodiment means,
Yes.
and deeper realizations of it.
Yes.
It's never boring, that's for sure. And
Right.
when we're challenged, sometimes we are really challenged.
Yeah. 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 You're saying it very beautifully. I relate to all of that. You know, our own personal integrity and what comes up and what we do with it, and you know how long I'm in my ego or my head about it versus when I finally surrender back to asking and inviting love and healing and support and clarity, etc., and surrendering it, as you were saying, Viveka, all of that. Yeah, it's very inner, and as soon as it is received or mastered, then the outer can reflect that, and then we can share that with each other and hold that space because we know what it is we're striving to communicate and express with people. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we really losing ourselves in love to find ourselves as love.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely true, and the core truth is love, and it's coming back to home to ourselves,
Right.
and to remember ourselves as a source of love.
Beautiful.
At the same time, it's I shared it before already also, but it's
Yeah.
when I started to wake up and started to feel very first time this beautiful states of divine love, and I was so curious that I would like to share them, and what is my purpose in this world, and I asked it many times, and every time I get the same answer: be love.
Yeah.
And it was so simple, and for my human mind, this time it was like, oh, it's boring. but when you really starting to embody that, and you starting to become this truth, then you're starting to feel that immensity of that.
Yes, it's simple, but it's not boring. How about that?
No,
Yeah.
not at
Yeah.
all. And it's really when you embody that and start becoming that, you start to feel the immensity of this truth.
Yes. Yes.
That we all becoming this love, and source is love. Love is source.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it feels like it's really nothing and it's small thing, but it's everything.
Yeah.
This truth is everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Have we talked at all about the telepathy tapes? Is that anything you've heard of or looked at yet?
Not familiar with. To
Okay.
me, I've heard of them, but that's as far as it
Sure.
goes.
Sure. So let me just share with you because it relates beautifully to what we're talking about here. So there's a documentary filmmaker. Her name is Kai Dickens in the States. And she was researching one project and she interviewed a scientist. And the scientist was talking about her it being demonstrated to her conviction that the nonverbal autistic kids of the last 30 years, especially here, are all telepathic, and that they're
Extremely telepathic.
yes. Well, you're jumping ahead of me already, which is great. Exactly. So not only are they telepathic, and their parents and their teachers and their friends all know this, but they really, truly, to come back to your point, Viveka, they're living in a state of unconditional love in that vibration with each other. And in order to enter into their realm and their conversation, you have to enter with that open heart and that unconditional love. And then they can interact with you. And so Pam Gregory, who's an astrologer in the UK, she did a lovely interview with Veda Austin, who's a water researcher in New Zealand. And Veda had, I'll send it to you if you like, and Veda had taken thousands of photographs of water like Emoto, setting an intention and seeing what the water does with it and freezing the water and taking a picture, this kind of thing. But so she had a lot of photographs that looked like hieroglyphics with the same similar pattern in many of them, like an Egyptian hieroglyphic. So she asked AI if it would help her understand this, and then she got the message no. And then she turned to and asked permission from Kai to work with the autist, is how they call themselves, the autist kids, and they agreed to work with her. And so the messages that have come through have been really, really profound. And it's, of course, it's exactly about what we're talking about here, of making the shift and the shift in consciousness and the shift in physical reality as well. So it's all been pretty exciting hearing about all this week.
It's amazing, and I as child I was really similar to probably to what we're calling as autistic children.
Okay.
I didn't get any diagnosis this time, but
right.
But I really love to be alone in the nature.
Right.
I would be there for hours and hours. I didn't do any specific things. I just was there. and and one point in my live stream as I grow and I'm this teenager, I forgot all this connection and with many of us doing. And I tried to fit into this world, but it was quite painful for me to do that. I never felt that I like fit into this world as I tried to copy others and I tried to be somebody else. And the more I did that, the more I felt this separation and pain within me. And as child, and now, when my remember starting to open up and I started to remember myself more and more, I started to remember also myself as divine child. When I born and when I was born into this world, and I remembered how I spoke with nature and as I spoke with water, and I called that secret language when I was a child, and I spoke with all creation, with other beings, and now this remembrance started to open up again because I was ready to receive, and we're going back into this purity and innocence. And we're starting to remember ourselves as these divine children that we all are.
Yes.
And then it's coming also through through the healing of our, or it's even not healing. It's through removing these layers of separation that we felt, and we can call it also like wounded children, but they're like artificial layers, because our inner child, it's our purest essence, this pure love.
Right. Yeah, beautiful. It's exciting. It's incredibly exciting. I was just looking for the quote here. I'll find it in a moment. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, this is a whole generation of kids who have had this condition of autism, and it's made them nonverbal, and so, like you're saying, alienated from their culture and the world around them, and they've had to find other ways of communicating, and so they opened up their natural sixth sense, which all of us have access to, of course. But we don't believe that in general, in the general public, and so there's all that stigma and judgment around all of that. But that's what these beautiful souls are changing quickly. So just to finish the thought, there's 10 one-hour episodes of the podcast, the first series called the Telepathy Tapes, and she takes you into dialogue with all of these kids and their telepaths and their carers and things like that, people who can speak for them and demonstrate that this is happening and all the rest of it. So that itself was a paradigm shift. Hearing that from me for the first time, it definitely changed my worldview of what was possible. And then with Veda working with the kids to understand, and I say kids in general because some of them are adults, at this point, but working with these wonderful folks, so they really are spiritual masters, is where I'm going with this, in my opinion.
Yeah. Imagine being able to multitask, doing a million things at once.
And if you...
That may not be exactly accurate, but that's the level that they're working at. That they're able to handle communications in a way that we can only begin to dream of yet.
Yes, there's definitely, I'm just looking for a quote here to share with you. There's definitely a level of genius in terms of their intelligence and their talents, which is really shocking and powerful and positive,
And there is so many children who have been diagnosed that they have like different issues and they don't fit into this, for example, school system. And I was one of them. I didn't have any diagnosis, but it was so I never fit into this system fully. So it's and they all really special. We all special, but it's sometimes really my youngest son. I also homeschooling him,
right?
So he never fit into system also, and because I'm aware who he is in homeschool right now. So and he was also worried that I'm so different. I feel differently, and I feel other feelings, and
yes,
and it's they're just more open, and it's so beautiful that right now here is so many awakened people who really understand the depth of this, who they really are.
Yes.
And as you spoke about the symbols, as a child, I draw many symbols. I remember I draw all the time some similar symbols, and right now I started to remember that, and then this language of love, or language of love light.
Beautiful. So, nice. Well, I found the quote. This is Sammy responding to Veda Austin about the hieroglyphs. And she's just said a minute ago how this is awakening nature to the shift that's happening in our physical reality at this time. But she says here, I think she's 16, Sammy. This is through her telepath. She says things that are out of tune and out of harmony will cease to exist because the power of all of this is overtaking the planet at rapid rates and cannot be stopped. Everything we've talked about, David. We're too far along in the process. No one saw us coming, and the evil ones could not see our true potential. Even if they tried to stop us with poisons, they did not know that they helped us stay out of the body and bring in something new. Deep.
The energy that is kept. We made this shift quite a while ago. To where, and I'm grasping for the correct words to be able to express this. We made it a shift where enough of the people in incarnation here on the earth made the shift internally in their own spiritual growth, that it tipped the balance of the way that the collective energy is on the planet. And there will be no returning, and it cannot be stopped. It's not possible that it would ever be contained again.
Yeah.
The old way is dissolving at whatever speed that it is dissolving. It's revealing itself day by day in ever deeper ways.
Yes.
And more and more people at whatever rate that each individual chooses will also begin to shift.
Yeah.
It will turn into kind of like a flood or almost a tsunami at some point.
Yeah.
When that will be, what that will look like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not that wise. I don't know anybody that is. There may be people, but I haven't heard of them.
Because it's up to us.
We just know that it's almost unimaginable what is coming.
Yeah.
And it is, at this point, it is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's like the people standing on the beach, and all of a sudden they look out and see all of the ocean has gone, and they know a tsunami is coming.
Right.
There's nothing that anybody can do to stop that.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah, if you think about that creator source decided that we're not playing anymore this play. no duality anymore, and let's come back to this purity and this original vibration of unconditional love and which is in all creation. It's feel distorted. It's distortion that's surrounding that. It's not this very essence that it really is. So we're engaged with this outer reflection that it's so distorted and it's bad, but inside of every creation it's the same spark of source. And if you think creation never can control creator, it's the same with us. Our creation, even if it feels distorted and then it feels like it's really powerful, but it's never can control creator.
Yeah.
And the more we're embodying this truth, the more this illusion of good and bad starting to dissolve.
Yeah.
Because we as one don't give them any attention anymore.
Yeah.
Any power.
Good point. Yeah. Very good. I agree with that. I find myself less interested in anything political, if it doesn't include, the spiritual in some form or fashion, because, that's the problem, the political, and here's the solution, the spiritual. So, let's keep coming over to where the solution exists, eventually,
Mm.
be understood, or, inspire the political to shift its consciousness. Yeah. It's, like we're saying, these are extremely powerful times. And like, where we started here, the sun and the CMEs and the geomagnetic storms, that is, helping us to shed the unconscious energies and miasms and programs and entities and whatever, from the 3D that we need to
And
develop up.
at the same time, we are creating those CMEs. We are creating those geomagnetic storms. It's not a dual process, but they're happening at the same time.
Yeah.
As we spoke last time, there is this
The
two forces.
The outer is the reflection of the inner, and we're creating and destroying all of this in the same moment.
Mm-hmm. And this,
or dying and birthing might be a more appropriate way to say it.
exactly. And this destructive forces is not destructive when we allowed, when we're surrendering and allow to release this soul, to dissolve this soul, to transcend this old creation. So
Yes.
then it feels like transformational force.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
they're always together as one.
yes. Yes. Is that a good place for me to segue into talking about your upcoming events?
It's a perfect place to segue.
Thank you very much. You took the hint. Thank you very much.
It wasn't hard.
No, it was, softball. Yes, that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous, of course. So you've got your 5-5 meditation coming up on Sunday, May the 4th. We have Easter this week, so that's next weekend. And would you like to say anything about that?
We love these meditations. It's an opportunity to be together with however many people come. And we do ask for some kind of a contribution to us as an energy exchange.
Right.
It doesn't matter what that is. It can be 50 cents. It could be $1. It doesn't matter.
Could be $1,000. Let's go.
We don't want money to be an impediment to anybody. We want everybody to be able to freely attend without having any stress put on them in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
And it's an incredible opportunity to form a family, to form a group. And we all come together and we share the presence that each one of us is. And we all know how powerful that is when people come together and they combine themselves with each other. So yes, in these meditations, Viveka and I will lead. And a meditation transmission will begin to come through, and we will give voice to that. But as much as anything, it is a transmission that is being generated through the core of everybody that is present. And they always reflect the current energies that were going on. Sometimes we know a little bit about what it might be beforehand. Sometimes just in the moment as it's happening. It's always amazing and beautiful. And we always love to be with as many people as wish to come. It's always such a joy.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
And this is what coming through is also related that it's about this group dynamics also, all this energy that coming through, because when we transmitting these energies, there is we always holding this core energy or connecting with the co-creation, but the core energy, it has a infinite amount of different vibrations. And this is what coming through. It depends depends of group. It's depends of what everybody need in this now moment the most.
Great.
This is the same time. It's we working as one, and it's one shared experience. At the same time, it's also personalized, and then it's also at the same time it's unique experience to everybody.
Always. And you could liken it to a kaleidoscope, that if you're looking through one, you turn it just a little bit and everything changes. And depending upon the people that come and where they are in their own growth, where they are along their path, and what the focus that they bring based upon just what their day is like or what their moments are like, things change. It's always flexible. We're always looking through, in essence, that core diamond that is source. Mm-hmm. What facet we're going to look through is sometimes very fluid.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
There is different facets, and then it's related to this energies what coming through, that what facets we use or we are as open conduits, and it's everybody. It's up how they receive and what they need the most in their journey in this now moment. So.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't miss it. And I recommend your work to everyone that I have the opportunity to do that. Both of you. It's always a joy. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Anything else you'd like to share with us as we come down the home stretch here? This has been always beautiful and far too short, but I think we've covered some important things. Anything else on your heart here today?
Well, we have a really wonderful class that we're very excited about, that has just been finally launched today, and it's Beyond Death and Dying.
Right.
And Transcending Human Limitations. And eventually, it has not coalesced yet, but eventually this is going to be a multiple class course. But for right now, it's a single class.
Right.
Offering it on May 10th on Saturday.
Yes.
I really liked May 11th, but you know as well as I do, many of the people that come to our classes are in Europe. So if we have the class on Saturday, they have all day Sunday to be able to just relax and be and integrate.
Yes.
Before maybe, possibly, depending upon their circumstances, having to show up for work on Monday morning.
Sure.
There's a little bit of time. Wow. We're really excited about this class. We spoke of it last time we were together.
Oh.
And it has been quite a while coming through and finally revealing itself in terms of just what is beyond death and dying, and how the presentation will happen.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
We're really excited about this.
And when we're talking about transcending human limitations, and then this, as we shared last time, also the fear of death is one of the most or one of the deepest fear, the core fear. Sure. That creating this illusion of separation from source. because when we still feel this fear of death, then our consciousness cannot be fully free, because we're limiting our consciousness, and we cannot go beyond of these human limitations, because it literally feels that we are dying, and it is part of truth, because our human mind transcending, and it feels like dying, because when happening this physical death, it's really similar to that, because we totally releasing everything, all attachment, everything, and it can be forceful or it's not forceful, but we can feel that as forceful when we don't know what it is, and when we're still holding this fear, and we're thinking that this transformational force is something negative. And many of them hold this fear because the many lifetimes when we wasn't conscious, and when we died, we felt this deep fear that that's it. It's now it's happened. I'm not existing anymore, and we still have this memory in our cellular memory, and also in connection to that in our different bodies. So this is what we're releasing, and also the feeling of grief, because when we're going through this process of like personal death, we very often we're feeling this grief, and we're feeling this feeling of loss, that we're losing something. And sometimes there is after reflection with that also, that we may lose some physical things and some relationships, and also it helps these people who, for example, lost their loved ones, to release this grief, and this grief also, like in some level, separation, because we feel separation from the loved ones. We don't feel anymore, and the grief creating this feeling of separation, but we can transform that into grace, and feel again this deep connection with our loved ones.
Yes. Beautiful.
And as you know, Lou, from having attended so many of our classes and courses, that this is a deeper aspect of the foundational course that we offer, embodying your original soul blueprint, in terms of the initial piece that we do, opening up the energy stream at the base of the spine and dissolving all of those threads of fear. And of course, that's not something that, quote unquote, her and I can do for anybody. We can't force that on anybody. What we can do is offer an energy stream that a person can step into that stream and discover it within themselves and feel safe within that energy.
Yes.
So
beautiful.
This is just and we've also offered courses on death and dying over the years, in terms of celebrating before we die our life, and letting it go, and releasing everything. And this is essentially learning how to truly live in this moment, and to die to the moment that went just before, to die constantly, every day, over and over and over and over and over, with whatever arises.
Yeah.
And if you don't resonate with if people don't resonate with the word death, in that they feel contraction, then you can just imagine it as this transformational force, and that you every moment you feelings is rebirth, and you release. That it's this transformational force helping to release and to transform into every moment into a new level. Every moment is fresh and new, and there is no influences of past anymore when you do that every moment, moment by moment, every breath.
And using the word death is, nobody ignores it. It evokes some kind of a response or a reaction within everybody. If it's a contractive thing, that's a really good thing, because now you really and truly know you have something that's stuck in there. And this is such a wonderful opportunity to go in there and discover that and release it. And as we have said many times, whatever it is, especially recently, whatever it is that you are ready to bring up and can feel and release and let go of, it releases the light that you have trapped inside of it. And that is so freeing.
Yeah.
There's such an immense joy in letting all of this stuff go. It doesn't do anything for us except hold us back.
Yeah.
From discovering who we really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mind and heart feel so light, and when you're walking, it feels like you're barely touching the earth.
Right.
It's going to be more amplified and more amplified. This is how it feels.
Yes.
We're really releasing all this limitation that we put to ourselves.
Yeah, joy, and freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful, my friends. Well, thank you. I look forward to that as well, of course. Do you want to leave us with a blessing or a prayer, any sort here as we finish up today? It's always a joy to connect with you both. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Let's do it together shortly.
Okay.
Thank you.
And as always, we connecting as one heart, as one mind, and simultaneously there is no separation between the heart and mind. There is only one flow, infinite love, light, infinite wisdom from the heart. And when it touched your mind, you feel how your brain will light up. And feel how your mind becoming lighter and lighter. Sire tuturu matanat. Hekaya mahateran dukuntuk tum dam dam deyamukuk. And feel also blessings from the Divine Mother, Gaia, Sophia. Rororo tu sungure moro matane toi ting chang chang. Hurotutu maanai karatuk sungurut yamatai wai. Irinara tu sukuro matai. Take a deep breath through your heart, through your true heart, through your higher heart. And feel this breath of love, this infinite truth, the truth of love, as grace flowing through your heart. This is who you truly are. Blessings.
Thank you, my friends. Beautiful. Thank you both. Bless you both.
Blessings to all of you.
Blessings.
And to you, Lou.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Viveka. All my love. Beautiful. And we'll put the links for the Eden Temple in the talk there, and look forward to seeing you and chatting with you very soon.
Thank you, dear Lou.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.